Ladies commute. Just dropped the car off for its MOT. What's up guys? Electric Tuesday then, and a couple of things I want to address quickly today before we get started on anything else. One of them is something I've talked about on another video, yet continually keeps cropping up again, and it's something that cropped up specifically this week off the back of Toto Wolff's comments about Lewis Hamilton's engine in Brazil almost failing, getting a critical failure message. That imminent failure was about to happen within one lap, and yet the guys back at Brixworth and the guys in the garage behind the scenes managed to kind of change settings and do things to rescue the situation and basically nurse the engine through to the end of the race. Lots of you said, I thought you said, Elvis, that they couldn't change anything from the garage remotely to the car to change things like settings and engine settings. They can't. They can't. And it cropped up a while ago, didn't it, when Max Verstappen, we heard a radio message broadcast to Max Verstappen from the team, the Red Bull team, saying, whilst he was leading the race in Mexico, wasn't it, saying, Max, we have turned down the engine basically to get you to the end of the race, something like that. Everyone said, I thought they couldn't turn down the engine. So what happens in these situations is that, first of all, we only get certain radio messages broadcast. I think you all know that. There is lots of other radio traffic that we don't get to hear, and what happens in those situations are that if they need to adjust settings, if they need to change settings to protect the engine, like was the case in both of those situations, the guys back at Brixworth or back in the garage or wherever will work out what they need to do, what they can change, and they will then go through the various maps and the various systems to work out what they need to tell Lewis or Max Verstappen to change on their steering wheel in order to effect those changes. Those discussions will be going on the radio all over the place. We only got to hear, in the Max Verstappen case, the radio message that was broadcast from the team to confirm to Max, having told him to make a bunch of switch changes, they then confirmed what those switch changes had done for him, i.e. we have turned down the engine by way of you changing the switch setting, is what they meant. The same thing happened at the weekend, whereas the guys in the Mercedes garage and back in the UK at Brixworth frantically were working out how they could keep the engine going, how they could minimise. So maybe it was changing things like ignition timing, maybe it was lowering rev limits, gear change limits, all sorts of things to try and just give the engine an easier time. And then they would have told Lewis to change the switch settings appropriately. So that's how that all works. Incidentally, it used to be possible to remotely change the settings on the car from the garage, and I remember back in my day when I was working at the team, you could effectively, because we had power assisted and hydraulically controlled steering, actuated steering, you could actually drive the entire car remotely without a driver in it. The technology was there to do that, and we could have easily done it. So that all that technology all existed where we could control things from the pit lane to the car, but in more recent times those kind of technologies have been banned, so we're now only allowed to send data from the car to the garage whilst it's out on track, not the other way around. Come on, where's Wilson? Now the next thing is something I need your help with. You may remember at the end of last week I did a video where I was left home alone and ended up digging out the F1 game on the Xbox, which I hadn't done for a while, and it kind of reignited that little fire inside me, that passion for racing gaming, and I really want to explore that further. There was lots of positive comments in the comment section of that video about people wanting to explore sim racing and esports further, and I've had some ideas about what I can do with it, so I'd really want to get into it further. Definitely want to start using simulators as part of my track guide, so I do a race preview normally, don't I, before every Grand Prix. Well, I thought, let's get out on the track, let's do that in the sim world talk our way around a lap, we can stop at various corners, you know, look at the curbs, look at the sort of turning points, the exits, the lumps and bumps, and look in a lot more detail at what the sort of technical challenges are for each of those Grand Prix tracks that we're going to go to across, particularly next year, of course. But in order to do that, I need your help, because I am a bit of a novice. I've only really ever played kind of regularly the Codemasters F1 game that I've got on the Xbox, which is great. It's great fun, but it is just kind of fun. I think it's not really a serious sim racing tool. And what I want from you is some input, because I know that there must be lots of you out there that are in this a lot more deeply than I am at the moment, and can give me advice on what I need. So what is the best sim racing platform? You know, I really want to explore the technical side, so I want something with really good AI, really good tyre models, suspension models, so when I make changes to the technical changes to the car, you know, we really see what that does to the performance of the car on the racetrack. So iRacing I know is good, R Factor I've heard is very good. You know, is it better to use things like Gran Turismo or Forza or the F1 game itself? Let me know. You guys, many of you will have much more experience with this than I have. And the other thing is wheels and pedals, force feedback wheels. Give me some ideas on what's the best equipment to go for. You know, we want to do this properly, so let's find something that makes it, you know, maximises the capability of what we can do with it. I think it could be quite exciting and make for some really good content. But please do let me know your thoughts on all this, because I am still at this point a novice. Now that really is great news, really positive news, that Formula E is going to be broadcast across the BBC's digital platforms, BBC Sport, and also there will be at least one race on the main BBC TV channels as well. So really positive, and the reason it's so positive is that that reaches an awful lot of people, and that is what Formula E needs at the moment. I know that I have banged on for years now to you lot saying, you know, Formula E is great, just give it a chance, watch the racing, because the racing at the core, at the heart of Formula E is great racing. And you can have your opinions on any of the other parts of it, but the racing as a spectacle is good, and I promise you that. And, you know, I can say that as much as I want, but until people actually see it, until they buy into it and they get invested in it themselves and actually watch a race through, following the protagonists and getting behind one or two of them, and just seeing the drama play out, until you see that, you're never going to just take my word for it or anybody else's word for it. So the fact that we are now going to get every single race being broadcast to anybody who has access to BBC Sports platforms, that is brilliant news. Don't yet know many of the details around it. Are they just taking the world feed? Are they going to make their own bespoke programming around this deal? Don't yet know. I am trying to find out. I've asked the questions to various people. As soon as I get an answer, I will of course let you know. But look, whenever you're trying to grow a platform of anything, whether it's motorsport or any new sport or anything else for that matter, you've got to put it in front of people. You've got to force it in front of people's faces to some extent to just make them aware of it. And this deal does exactly that. So well done Formula E, great news, well done BBC. Really looking forward to it. Right, I think that's probably enough for now. Please, there's plenty for you to get involved in on today's video. I really want your feedback on the sim racing stuff. Software and hardware recommendations, please. That would be great. Love to know your thoughts on Formula E's BBC deal, and of course anything else that I've discussed or haven't discussed. The comments from yesterday's video, the Ask Elvis Mondays video, have just exploded, gone crazy, and that's what I love. I love the fact that it's done that. Massive discussions going on. I've been involved with lots of them. You lot have been involved with lots of them. That's what I love most of all. You guys are having your own passionate, heated chats, heated discussions about these kind of topics. So it's totally split people down the middle, that whole Ocon and Verstappen incident. So please keep piling in with your opinions. Love opinions of any description. keep them coming. So thanks very much, guys. I hope that was an informative Electric Tuesday video for you. If you've liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, please, if you haven't already, and I will speak to you tomorrow.